The incident.
It is the kind of pain few of us can understand, the kind of pain that none of us would ever want. A family in Brooklyn for 24 years mourning their teenage daughter who was found stabbed and killed. All these years later, still no motive and no suspect. But now, out of nowhere, the NYPD is reopening the case and no one is saying why. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Sandra Bookman.
Oh, we don't do nothing. We don't celebrate nothing.
For the last 24 years, Jose Torres says the holiday season has been more bitter than sweet. It was New Year's Day 1987 that the body of his 19-year-old daughter, Lizette, was found in a lot under the Gowanus Expressway. She'd been stabbed to death. Now police are taking a fresh look at the case, posting flyers around the Sunset Park neighborhood, asking for information that might help solve the case, something a grieving father has prayed for. Are you happy that they're doing this again, or?
Well, one way, yes. Let's see if they do something. Because the other detectives, they didn't do nothing.
Lizette Torres had just graduated from Our Lady of Perpetual Help High School and was reportedly headed to college. When she left her family's 44th Street home on New Year's Eve more than 2 decades ago, no one expected it would be the last time they would see her alive. Today, Police Commissioner Ray Kelly confirmed the case is being revisited, but refused to say what new information may have triggered that.
There's no information that we're ready to release at this time.
Jose Torres, meanwhile, says cold case detectives have promised to keep him updated on the search for his daughter's killer, who he wants brought to justice.
Oh, yes. Hey, that's my goal before I die.
In Sunset Park, Brooklyn, Sandra Bookman, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Police in Westchester County tonight investigating a double hit-and-run accident that has left a young man in extremely critical condition. 23-year-old Raul Rios hit by a car early Sunday morning on East Post Road in White Plains. Surveillance video shows the black late-model Mercedes that hit him. The driver fled the scene, still on the loose. 2 people who came to his aid were then struck by a second hit-and-run driver. Fortunately, they were not seriously hurt. Police later arrested the second driver and charged him with driving while intoxicated. And police in Manhattan tonight looking for a missing woman with Alzheimer's. She is just 58 years old. Her name is Micheline Pierre. She was last seen outside B&H Electronics on 9th Avenue in Midtown Manhattan, where she was waiting for her husband inside their car. Police say Mrs. Pierre had a scar on her forehead, was wearing a black winter coat, gray slacks, a brown floppy hat, and round gold-framed eyeglasses.
Anger and an apology. The fallout tonight over an outrageous comment made by a well-known New York radio DJ about Haitian women and HIV. Hot 97 morning show host DJ Cypher Sounds, whose real name is Luis Diaz, said on his radio show Friday, quote, "The reason I am HIV negative is because I don't mess with Haitian girls." Outraged listeners have been calling the station and leaving messages online despite an apology Diaz issued on air shortly afterwards.
I made a stupid, tasteless joke that was a one-liner that was taken totally the wrong way. And I want to say sincerely that I apologize.
Well, despite that apology, Haitian advocates and city council members have scheduled a protest tomorrow morning in front of the radio station in the West Village.
A scaled-down version of the 9/11 health care bill aimed at helping first responders at Ground Zero now expected to go to a vote in the Senate on Wednesday. Mayor Bloomberg and workers who were sickened from inhaling dust at Ground Zero gathering at City Hall today and urging the U.S. Senate to pass this bill. New York's 2 U.S. senators say they have enough votes to pass the bill that now costs a little more than $6 billion. That's $1 billion less than the previous measure. A test vote in the Senate failed earlier this month. Republicans will regain control of the New York State Senate next year. That word tonight after the state's highest court ruled on the final disputed race from last month's election. The Court of Appeals unanimously rejecting Nassau County Democrat Craig Johnson's request for a full manual recount. The court certifying the incumbent lost to Republican challenger Jack Martin by just 451 votes. The decision will return control of the state Senate to Republicans. They don't have a now 32-30 majority. Democrats held the majority for just 2 years. One more political note. He's out of a job in 10 days. He doesn't know what he's going to do, but New York Governor David Paterson does have a $62,000 bill he's got to pay. That's his fine tonight for illegally receiving Yankees World Series tickets last year. The State Commission on Public Integrity says the governor lied when he testified he always intended to pay for the tickets. Turns out the Yankees have pending business with the state, and that made the free tickets a conflict of interest for the governor. The Albany DA also is investigating possible criminal charges.
A suspicious package emitting radiation triggered quite a security scare at Newark Airport today. Newscopter 7 was over Terminal A as hundreds of passengers were evacuated. The American Airlines terminal was closed for an hour as the bomb squad examined the package. It turns out it contained a computer monitor, which normally emits small amounts of radiation.
Still to come on this Monday night, emergency surgery for a dog. It was found bleeding and in pain. The mystery tonight, where's her owner? And right name, wrong guy. Threats tonight against a man who happens to have the same name as the Giants' dog of a punter. That and more when we come back in 60 seconds.
Oh, thank you. I thought we had a $20 limit. We did.
Triumphant Joy, just $19.99. Find what makes your holidays happy at a price that makes you home goods happy.
When the visitors arrived, they said they came in peace. They lied.
I will take you down.
No one can comprehend the magnitude of what is coming.
ABC's V. They return Tuesday, January 4th at 9/8 Central on ABC.
What is your intention?
I aim to kill you in 1 minute.
You missed your shot, Cogburn.
Just let this go.
I thought you were going to say the sun was in your eyes. That is to say, your eye.
Marshal, Tom Cheney killed my father. We must go after him.
Wait.
He's here! Help me, Marshal!
Now what?
There's only 2 of you. Go ahead and bet your life on it.
True Grit. Rated PG-13. Wednesday.
Bleeding and limping. That is how a Good Samaritan found a 3-year-old Rottweiler wandering the streets of the Bronx. The dog suffered from a life-threatening infection, but tonight is on the mend after a veterinarian performed emergency surgery. But there's only one problem: finding the dog's owner. Eyewitness News reporter Jeff Begay says more.
There are thousands of holiday stories about humans, but this one is about a dog. And the veterinarians at Yonkers Animal Specialty Center who've made it their mission to reunite this dog with her family by Christmas. 5 days to go.
I can only imagine if my pet were lost while I was at work, and it's good to know that there's people out there that can take care of pets and find a lost animal and hopefully reunite them back home, especially, this time of the year and the holidays.
They call her Barbara. She's a Rottweiler, and she looks healthy now. But on the day she was brought in, had she not received immediate attention, she might have died.
She had an infection to her uterus. It's not uncommon in dogs that are older her age.
She was found wandering the streets of the Bronx.
Well, that's where we started following her, on 222nd and Carpenter.
Almost 2 weeks ago, bleeding and suffering.
She was going real slow. It looked like she was hurt.
Good Samaritan Christopher Rosado picked her up.
And I went like this, and then she walked a little more, and that's when I went to the side like this, and I grabbed her.
He took her home and then, realizing she needed medical attention, called for help and later brought her here, where doctors operated on her, and now they say the prognosis is good.